you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone of you, depending on your own region. Please press on the like button and help us to share. Let's listen to what our people have to say here. Mr. Alex, I know that you are rushing, but I'll plead with you to allow Mr. F. Emmanuel to speak first, in case, or if he can wait, that is fine. Then you speak. So, Mr. F. Emmanuel, do you want Mr. Alex to go ahead because it's you that is supposed to call by now?
I better give my in-law a chance. I better Alex. I better go ahead and wire, sharp.
But this time, una not get time to talk again. Una go the target on ourselves. So that for 5 minutes rush where everybody call the rum more than anything. If I wish I go do this thing again next time. The black pattern I go pepper.
Alex, give us logo abacha, sharp, beg.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Yes, thank you. I will not give you logo apache. I will give you my logomachy. Logo apache means I'm being partial. So let's get that straight, even if it's a grammatical expression from the Latin hemisphere. I'm very happy, gentlemen. At least we can express ourselves a bit more now. Yes, like I said, we all have different ideologies about people. Some people say Muammar Gaddafi was a dictator, but I see him as a hero who developed Africa and created a mini Garden of Eden in the heart of Africa, who wanted one African country with the capital either in Lagos or in Accra. He was not even wishing to be the president. He wanted one African currency. So, but to the Western world, he was this, he was that, he was a mad dog, he was Islamic terrorist, and so on and so forth. So we should be careful of the media. That's why Donald Trump said some media stations are fake news. He mentions on names like CNN and the rest. So I don't listen to fake news. So I believe in Donald Trump. I believe in his personality. 3 things that shaped, amongst other things, that shaped my philosophy for him. For a man who is a president, for me in his time, there was no war. First time I think in America recent history. So he demonstrated leadership when he sent a branch of the American military, Team C, it was called, to the northern part of Nigeria to rescue one single American citizen. That's to tell you how much value Donald Trump places on human lives. Donald Trump also was able to meet with North Korea. It has never happened in American history that North Korea dictator was met by an American president. They discussed business. They had interchange. They had ideas and so on and so forth. So and the world knew peace. And that peace now has vanished from the world. So Russia and Ukraine war could not have happened if Donald Trump was there as an American president. Tinubu's saga would not have been like this if Donald Trump was there as an American president. They would have come out outrightly to ask Tinubu, are you really a drug dealer? Because he asked Buhari, are you really killing Christians in your country? Buhari didn't. Before him, he's on camera. The video is everywhere. He also said that when I shook him, American journalist asked him what was his experience when he shook hands with Buhari. He said it was lifeless. He said it looked lifeless. That was because people were trying to relate it to Buhari being alive or being not alive and so on and so forth. Who was the man in Atorok? Donald Trump said he looked lifeless, that the man looked lifeless. And he asked him, why are you killing Christians in your country? He didn't ask him, are you killing Christians? He said, why are you doing it? And Buhari denied that it's a farmer and headers problem. So for a president that is that outspoken, for a president, for me, that brought peace to the international hemisphere of the globe, for me, I give it to him as a pass, because he was a check and balances to political democracies or even dictators across the world. So, and the world knew prosperity under him. For me, under Donald Trump, Nigerian dollar and the Nigerian naira was stronger. I mean, our leaders were a bit cautious. If threatened to publish the names of Nigerian politicians and the money they own in American banks, at the time he threatened to do a lot of things. So this a man, I love his style. I may not be perfect in my belief system. I may not know much like you know, but this is what I know about him that formed my support for him. And let me quickly go back to the Supreme Court. What I said before. I'm not ruling out a possibility of a miraculous judgment. It will take the finger of God. Obi has done the best thing. He has been instrumental to prove to us that we are not one Nigeria. Obi is a revelation. He has become an institution. Obi is a philosophy for me. He has demonstrated character. He has demonstrated decorum. He has brought about tranquility and shalom in the political hemisphere of Nigerian politics. So there is no excuse. Should anything happen now, like maybe a war or maybe what's it called, a revolution that leads to the buying of prominent corrupt politicians, nobody will say they didn't exhaust all democratic, routes. Like Nelson Mandela said, that we will exhaust all possible means of negotiations and democratic dealings before we will go violent. And they went violent before the oppressive, repressive apartheid regime was destroyed. So Obi now will be the last testament, the last book of the political democratic testament of Nigeria. Nobody will open his, will I say, gutter or buccal cavity to tell us we were too violent, we should have waited. Nigerians have waited since 1960, since 1980s, since 1999, first, second, third, fourth, fifth republics, whatever, with all the constitutions. What do we have? Poverty, disease, decadence, infrastructural, decadence, massive migration, wickedness of politicians, looting, killing of citizens, territorial exposure. So should it happen, Obi has giving them the last rope of peace, the last rope of restoring dignity of nationhood. So now Obi is like the curtain that has been, yes, come again.
No, go ahead, Mr. Alex.
Yeah, let me just try to sum up. Obi now is the curtain that has opened our eyes to see what Ojukwu was saying, that these people don't believe in development, they don't believe in democracy, these northern oligarchs, they don't believe. They're only using Tinubu as a wimp because Tinubu is greedy, he wants to be a president by all means. Normally, kingmakers don't become kings. They stay and die kingmakers and they earn their respect. Some countries call them is it Kaba, or some call them there's a word for them. I don't want to use the word godfathers. They don't become presidents. In America, there are people who carry out this discourse of where the next president should come from. They may have like a discussion, like an hypothesis. So because of the greed of Tinubu, they are being used. I mean, he's being used now by the northern oligarchy to disorganize democratic principles that we claim to be, to be practicing. We don't have democracy. We don't have a system
Alex,
of government.
can I interject you?
So can I just round up in 1 minute while you take the floor, if it is your turn, my dear brother?
I'm not taking the floor. I'm
I give
interjecting
you 30
you.
seconds. Carry on.
See, I told you before. I said you are a man that does research, and you should go ahead to do research. Though you can be selfish because it has benefits your own economy, which other country does. But one thing you should know: if you don't know a man very well, but you are only thinking about the word he said, that might be misleading. But what I indulge you to do, go and research on the man very well and ask people questions.
Thank you. Okay, sir. Thank you. I will do that. I will call everybody I know in America to start digging Donald Trump fire for me, because he just said this. Thank you. So let me just round up in 1 minute.
I missed that.
He said I should go and make research about Donald Trump before I conclude. So I now told him that I will start calling everybody I know in America to start digging Donald Trump's fire for me, personal life and times of Trump, so that I can come in.
Personal life that we should even be looking at.
So I don't know. I will do what he wants me to do. Then I will get back to him. So he's my friend. So we have a point of meeting in our ideological stand. I respect him a lot, Mr. Black Panther. So he's my respected fellow colleague on the Nigeria Watch platform. He's a guy that is rugged with the truth. So sometimes we all need to learn from each other. So as for the Supreme Court judgment, like I said, there is no excuse. I'm not asking them to do anything because I know they won't do anything. So something is going to hit this country. It's coming. Guys, it's coming. It will not be a coup. If it's a coup, the wicked men and women are going to even be happy because they all have friends in the military. They know how to manipulate. It's going to be very terrible. I don't know. It could start from the north. This so-called north that we think is the caliphate of the Nigerian politics. Something is coming. The hunger is too much. The insecurity, the obvious government failure, the massive injustice embedded in people's conscience right now. And the last straw to break the camel's back is the public stealing of the people's mandate they gave to Obi. 70 million youths came out to vote. The total votes of the first three winners is not even up to 20 million or 30 million. So where are all the votes? So the manipulation was just too obvious. And we should beware of France. The role France is playing in Nigeria is becoming so obvious. Allegedly, we heard that the justices, immediately they finished that work, they went to France to collect 5 million each. One person got $7 million. The rest of them got 5 million each. And the Supreme Court, they've already agreed their price, allegedly. So guys, we should, like somebody say, is it Oraka or the other guy that told us we should look beyond the Supreme Court. Nigerians have to wake up. Pato Tome, if they are organizing something, we should join them. We should see how we can take our country back. Because for me, just the boogaboo of the Supreme Court for me is just as the same of the Tribunal Parapeche. We don't need to look at them. And looking at the whole thing now, Nigeria is just a fraud. It's a scam. It's not a country. It's a business empire, because the leaders over the years, they failed to fix electricity. They failed to fix the common basic amenities of citizens across the globe. We are not the only one who got independence in 1960. Countries were formed in the 1990s. Croatia and the rest of them. Small countries came on board. Go to Romania. Go and see little countries across, even the Eastern Europeans. Go and see how they are living. They are not rich, but they have the basics of life. So I will leave it here for my fellow panelists. Thank you.
Mr. Alex, you have spoken your. Oh, CM, you want to take over? Continue.
Are we going on a sequence, or after Alex, is it the same people who have been here before speaking?
No, Madam Rita, you take continue, Miss Madam Rita.
It should be Madam Rita and Effie.
Madam Rita, welcome. Where have you been, ma?
I have been.
Madam Rita, welcome.
Madam Rita, where have you been? You have to explain to us. Where have you been? Hope you've not been to the tribunal.
She has gotten over the shock.
You not use Madam Rita to talk about. After Madam Rita, Effie, before I go.
Wait, did I hear somebody say shock? Did I hear Black person say shock? You have known me this for a long time. Do I look like someone that's going to be shocked about who or what?
And they pull your leg.
You better be pulling it. Oh. That joke is expensive now. Joke, stop him.
Oh, your man, I'm blood to the heart.
Lady Busy Brain, my darling sister, I just love you. I just hope to meet you. There's something about you that I just love. I can't really pinpoint it. I just love you, and you remind me of a lot of things. Maybe we're related. You never know.
You never know.
Because I had relatives who grew up in Jos, so maybe and you look like one of my in-laws too. That's from Jos. So anyway,
no, Mother Busy Break time don't finish. Mother Busy Break 5 minutes.
You guys have been on.
Madam Rita, they talk now.
Wait, Mamuja. You guys have been intimidating the Busy Brains, especially Black Panther. And you were talking about you were disappointed with some women. I'm like, eh? In fact, that's kind of alerted my brain. Like, what did I just hear?
I don't know if I will bring somebody. I don't know if I will bring somebody in.
Anyway, good evening.
Black Panther sometimes goes overboard, but it's okay.
It's okay. So we
I know how to provoke the sheep now. I know how to provoke the sheep so that they will ginger them up.
We cannot be provoked. If the sheep is female, we can never be provoked, my dear brother. We can't. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Miss Dr. CM, Black Panther, my darling sister, Busy Brain, Fact Jacka, and F. Emmanuel, and my dear, eloquent, loquacious brother, Alex. Good evening, Amomi Diaspora as well. It's good to be here. I've been listening off and on to what you guys were talking about. And, I want to appreciate, everybody's perspective on American politics and how it relates to what the connection with Nigeria and all that. It's good that we hear different perspective because no one knows everything. My president, Peter Obi, says, if you feel that you know everything, then you're the biggest fool alive. We learn every day. What I see is we are going through a phase. This world, we are going through a phase. And by nature, when people are going through changes or different phases, things are bound to happen. People get agitated, people fight, there's war, there's hatred, there's division, all kinds of things starts to happen. Listen, that's what the world is going through. The world is going through a lot of change. And I think that right now, the so-called superpowers of the world that has lasted for decades, the West, when I mean the West, I'm just going to be specific on the United States, Britain, and France. It would be unfair to say the entire EU because I believe personally, like, it's not all the EU countries are involved in all these shenanigans going on, even if they're kind of part of that union. But I'm just going to be specific: United States of America, Britain, and France. They are struggling to hold on to the hegemonic system of influence that they've had over decades. They're trying so hard to hold on to it. And it can only be mirrored to what is going on in Nigeria. The elites in Nigeria, both the state actors and the non-state actors, they have practiced the same hegemonic system over decades. Now, there is a Joshua that comes every time, over time, as time goes by. In Nigeria today, that Joshua, we say, is Peter Obi. In the West now, within the conglomerate of the G7, Russia is like the Joshua now, and he's trying to gather a lot of allies, and that's what gave birth to like these BRICS and what's happening. And then Russia is and China now is disagreement with the US because they want to take about Taiwan, and the US is supporting Taiwan, and they have Pakistan now, and you have a countries like Bangladesh. You see, there's something going on. Nobody wants to be anybody's slave anymore. Everybody is tired of this hegemonic system that has been going on over the world for a long time. I think, with all due respect to the Middle East, that is what they've been fighting for decades, but because of the mainstream media has given us this mentality that they are extremists, they've done a lot of wrong things, this is what they are, so we don't see things from their own perspective. Now it's coming to us. Now it's happening in Russia, and then people are now, it's like the scales are full of people's eyes, and there's a plethora of information on the internet right now on different people's views, including this forum, talking about, what's happening in the world. And to be honest, don't think that it's not going on. It doesn't concern you. I know we talked about this months ago. I think Mr. Nigeria Watch, we were talking about, I think at some point, what's happening in Russia. And I think someone was like, oh, Russia issue and Ukraine doesn't concern Nigeria. It has trickled down now to West Africa and our neighbors. And you see how we are being affected. And this INEC selected has now been selected himself to be ECOWAS, president of the ECOWAS. And look at what is going on now. Information. There's they cannot even decide on if they have to invade Niger or not. You see, there's something going on in the world. And we all have to get the right information at the right time, continue to teach people and make people understand what is happening. What is happening in the world is the same thing happening in Nigeria. The state actors and non-state actors are desperately, I repeat, desperately trying to hold on to that hegemonic system that has entrapped Nigeria and Nigerians for decades. Even some of our parents believe in the ideology of this hegemonic system in Nigeria. Really, and I would say they were ignorant because a lot of them didn't have, information that we have today. And thank God for the internet. The internet has made us really exposed a lot of things that honestly our parents were not opportune. I mean, the ones that are not alive now, as at that time, they were not opportune to have. And so most of them just agreed with whatever NTA gave them or whatever political leader they thought that was, going for their interest was saying. And it ended there. So fast forward, thank God we are alive this day and time, and we are able to understand and know the psyche and the systems of this hegemonic behavior of the West and how it has influenced our political system, our social system, and even our educational system. So therefore, I just feel that, when we are arguing and talking about the US and Trump and whatever it is, let us argue it in such a way that we mirror it to what is going on in Nigeria so people will have a better understanding. The woman who is selling bole right now doesn't give a rat's behind about whether Trump or evangelicals or what's his name, the one, the former President Obama or Bush, whatever it is. They don't know. They don't really care. That's the truth, because what they care is that is their stomach and their children and what they can eat and the food and shelter, the basics. That's what they care about now. So please let us start trying to mirror it so that we understand. Now, going back to Nigeria, I think somebody was talking about, the Supreme Court justice. There was something that somebody said before after Madam Ventura called. The person said, right now, we need to, meet the Labour Party or the elders like Pa Adebanjo and, I will add Obasanjo's name because Obasanjo has been trying to, pontificate himself over time. Right now, they need to, start talking to the likes of Ariwola and those people who are making decisions for Nigeria right now regarding whatever, the decisions of the Supreme Court. They should start talking to them. And we need to, like what Madam Victoria said, we need to, change and tactics on how to handle this. It's not just about, having gatherings like online or, people need to protest. Yeah. Protest is your fundamental right. But like I've said it before, we need to break the rules of the game. There's a difference between breaking the rules and breaking the law. We need to break the rules of the game. So far, everything that has been happening in the judiciary, and what we've been seeing, and the lawyers and the minions like Onoche or Anoche and that Dr. Lillian and all those minions that come and start ranting. What we are seeing is what has been happening before. It's just that it's just being amplified now. It has happened before. So they're following that same system of intimidation, spewing lies, trying to twist the mind and the psyche of the gullible Nigerians. That's what they're working on. And they've also transcended it to social media. They have their minions like the fake Emeka that comes here and the other people that come out to give wrong information and try to give a narrative that we don't understand what the judgment was, or maybe the Labour Party lawyers didn't do their job. They're just trying to change the narrative. It's the same thing that happened during Shagari's time, and it has just been elevated. It has evolved. The evil has evolved more because of course, they're going to use social media because our times now, social media has a lot of power. So, and then we have people who can come on TV, who can pay channels, can pay NTA, Arise TV, they can pay like 10 million naira just to have a 30 minutes or 1 hour exposition on the lies, and propaganda against Peter Obi's person, the Labour Party, the obedient movement, and even generally, the sufferings of Nigeria. They want to justify why things are happening the way they're happening. So it's just, the evil has just been amplified. So therefore we have to break their rules. We have to break their rules. We cannot go the normal way. If the judiciary, the Supreme Court, if there are other things we need to do apart from them putting the billboard, if there are other, ideas, we can't say it on social media, of course. We can't say it, but the little information we can give, anybody who can break the code can understand. We have to break the rules of the game. It is a game that they are playing with us. We have to break the rules, but we shouldn't break the law in the process of it. That's the only way we can break this code. That's just the only way. That's my opinion for now. I don't want to take everybody's time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Rita. Actually, the what is it called, State of the Nation rally. Like I said, I had a preview. Pat Yotomi and friends and other obedience. They held a meeting. I listened to it briefly early this evening, but I couldn't continue. It's quite a Zoom meeting worldwide. People are speaking with Sheikh Husani. Sheikh Husani was the chairman, then Pat Yotomi, the guest speaker. So they're just trying to say something that before the Supreme Court judgment, they want to rally. They call it a rally because if you say protest, all these people that interpret English language upside down will say, hey. So they said it's a rally, probably in different state capitals, whereby people will carry placard and demand the judiciary restore the mandate or do something. I don't know, but really something like that will come up. I think that is just as a reflex to what people are, because we've been quiet for a long time, and because of the way the judgment, with the vehemence with which these people dismissed Obi's petition and Labour Party's petition at the tribunal, people felt that they are up to something, but you never know. So to that extent, I think that's what the thing will address. However, like I've urged people before, I can never lose hope. Never. Even when I know that the Supreme Court, everything is shaky, given Akpabio's judgment and Lawal and all the nonsense they've been doing in Supreme Court, and then the Ariwola pretending to be being on a wheelchair to go and see Agbado very early before even the swearing in. We know all those things, but my destiny is, let this let this rally, let it be massive, let it be the first of its kind in Nigeria. People should really come out, because there's every reason for us for the rally. The hunger is just damn too much. I think there was a video circulating in the internet. I don't know whether it was shown here. There's no difference between when you throw corn, grains of corn to chicken. You see them congregating, killing themselves, to squeeze. I think was it a bag of rice or maybe corn that people were scrambling for somewhere in the northern part.
Was rice.
But the thing about it is, when you are scrambling for rice, normally if somebody maybe leaves a bag away, you might pay with the person that you are going to share. But the thing is that they didn't even give a damn to the one that scattered all over the ground with sand. They were packing them. I said, Kai, so it has come to this way. And yet these are people that will tell you they will vote APC. So a lot is, to be honest with you, I'm not a Nostradamus, but I know that I have a sense of foreboding. Things cannot just click. And we are moving, the momentum with which we are descending downhill. It will take a lot of I don't know, supernatural power to arrest what is going to happen in Nigeria in the weeks and months ahead. Maybe before the end of the year. This is September and October, November. Before then, something must surely give way, because the hunger, the desperation, in fact, I've never seen Nigeria like this. No matter what, even under when we talk of things are hard, it hasn't come. People are now packing rice openly, publicly, no shame, with sand, in the hope that maybe when they go home, they go and sieve it and remove the sand from the distance. Meanwhile, a bag of rice, I was told, is 55,000. So somebody was saying. So how can Nigerians put up with this? That's why whatever reflex that comes up now, I wonder whether Nigerians are still party blind. After all, nobody is rejoicing. However, let me even also remark this. I found that people that are egging this administration up, people that are in support, are mainly some misguided, wicked Nigerians in the diaspora, to be honest with you. Because when you see that the one that called the Mecca that come here the other day to come and, advertise his, I don't know whether it's wickedness or ignorance, I will call it, or a combination of both. It pains. It pains. Come here to come and be talking, up till now he said Tinubu. And so what? Why is it that nobody is happy in Nigeria? Even when you say you are party, you won. Nobody is clapping, nothing. no show of, sort of joy. Everybody, whether you vote, you didn't vote, everybody is suffering. I mean, it cannot continue. I so much feel so. I know a lot of things. People are people are going through pains, and you cannot put your finger on the next action that will take place. That's why, if really these Supreme Court people, if really, because there's a time will come when you now say, look, do we continue this way, or do we just make history and say this thing right? Because whatever judgment you give now in favor of Labour Party is long expected. You're only trying to give us the result of what happened on May 25th. I mean February 25th. We all know who we voted for, regardless of all this rigmarole. They are doing all this, doing that. You can't take the you can't play with the mind of the people or play with their future. I mean, we toyed with it for a long time. This is the time for them to save their country, or else I don't know what will happen. But then it won't turn out good. As far as I know, the boiling point, I mean the anger of the people is getting to a boiling point. And when it gets to that, you now know, for them to be talking of a state of the nation rally on Zoom, then everybody all over the world is contributing, because people are no longer happy. It cannot continue. What else do they want the people to do? Is the system is rigged from beginning to the end. You tell people to come and vote. Even now, what are they talking? Nothing. Things are Nigeria is just descending downhill every day, every minute. I don't want to talk of the casualty in terms of people being deleted. That has been a recurring decimal since 2015, that it reached a crescendo. But since then, rather than sort of receding, the thing is escalating. Upon that, there is hunger. That is the issue. Upon that, there is hunger. Everybody just complain. Everybody. Even if something that ought not to cost, they will tell you there's no petrol. Now look at what the lady from South Korea revealed. They buy this and they sell to us. Is that not a shame? And yet we have a government. Well, as far as I know, it's not gonna be business as usual. Whatever judgment that comes out of the Supreme Court, if we want it to favor the obedient, in which case it won't be everything cannot be as usual anymore, because we now start the job of repairing Nigeria. If they make the mistake of endorsing the shenanigan they did below, well, what they see, like we say, what they see, they take. You can't hold people not to, when you rob people of their mandate, you cannot expect to go and sleep with your two eyes closed. It's not gonna happen. People are even keeping quiet is because of the nature of Obi. They look at him and say, okay, our principal is still telling us to be hopeful. But this time, something must have to give. So who hasn't spoken? Let me not monopolize the thing. Was it Black Panther?
Yeah, let me help you out here.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. CN, and thank you, Madam Rita. I tend to go with what Madam Rita said. The entire world is changing. There's a sort of, it's like when you have a military regime, there's a sort of handing over to a civilian regime. There's a sort of change of baton going on in the world, and there's a resistance somewhere too that is coming in. It's like when you have a shift of the trajectory, it's trying to the world is trying to shift, and the world is trying to the Africa is trying to go contrary to what they prepare as the world order. And now Africa is beginning to realize that, yes, because we need to know who we are and what we have. The education starts with all individual. We need to know who we are and what we have. The reason why I'm saying this, I've been saying this for a very long time now, because when the South Korean lady said one thing, it looks like it is advantageous to them now, but it's going to be a very disastrous thing to them in the future when the world order shifts. Because now she was trying to tell us that we take oil, crude oil from somewhere, and they are the largest in the world. And if they get this, they refine and they sell back. But I want to, that is why I said I go with what Madam Rita is saying. What of the way the world is changing now? And so many African leadership that are springing up, despite what we don't want, say the military or whatever, they are still African. The reason why they came in is known to every one of us, despite the historical experience we had with them. But what I'm seeing here is different from what we have seen before, because there's a
Yeah. Okay, maybe it's me. Hello, Black Panther.
I think he went off. Something went off. Maybe he'll come back.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, continue. Yes. Oh, it's gone off.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I can.
Hello?
Yes, I can. Is he not hearing me? Yes, continue. Go on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sorry, I changed my network.
Oh, I thought maybe you are having a short. I
so
thought
what
maybe
I
you're
was
having
saying
a
is
short
that
meeting with.
the question I'm saying is trying to bring forth now here is that is Nigeria really getting the signal of that change? Because we see our people going to to France. Before it was Britain, now to France. Now, for more than how many months after the election, we've not heard anything from the British people.
Yeah.
They are silent.
No,
why are they silent?
They've said something. The former
they only said something to their consular, but they've not really put themselves, because Nigeria they were here before, but they've not really come out and said something that is really, they support democracy all over the world, to really stand their ground according to what EU, because they didn't speak anything about what the EU report they brought in. They didn't say anything. But what I'm seeing here is that is Nigeria in this? Because there's a trend going on now, and some of us in the diaspora, like what you said, Mr. CM, some of us are just, I don't know what to say about some of us, because I don't know what they are trying to sell. Because when you see what is happening in Nigeria, it's only a man that doesn't have conscience, a man that doesn't have, feeling for humanity, that will stand and look at what is happening in Nigeria and tears won't run out of his eyes. He's only a wicked man. Because I try to tell people, even when I call, they don't know that I understood that. Before they speak, I tell them what is going on. They are shocked. In Nigeria now, a man that takes 2 square meal a day, that guy must be a big boy. I am telling you people, in Nigeria now, 2 square meal, you are a big boy. Now that people that are taking 2 square meal, what about the ordinary man? The ordinary boy under the bridge, the orphan, the ones that are in the ghetto, they were formerly taking 2 square meal. What are they going to take now? Those are the people I'm even thinking about. Before they show us what was going on in the north, let me try to tell our people, the north as a whole has been running under that trajectory for a very long time. And they did what? They got used to it. That is why you see that is why when I made mention of the north That was yesterday or 2 days ago. I said, is the North with us in this changing, in this movement? Are they really with us? Because a man who have been bastardized, who have been pushed down to a level whereby he can only believe through his own religion, but when other people say it, he does not really believe. How are we going to change their mindset for them to know that this is their own country and it does not belong to that imam or that man that said he must fight jihad? There's nothing like jihadi war, but this is your country that you need to take. We are brothers in this fight, in this struggle. Are they really in or are they really out? Because what we saw in during the obedient movement was as it was like a wave coming, and a forceful wave came into the North through some that are enlightened. They got in. But when we saw what was really going on, actually, is the North really with us? Because they need to be with us. They are our brothers. They need to be with us. If the North, we have 50% from the North that believe in what we are doing for everybody, the status quo will be shaking now.
Ideally, given the level of suffering, the North should be at the forefront. Then the South.
That is what I'm saying, because they've gotten used to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, they always brainwash them by the moment. Okay, look at NSAS. Do you know that they interpreted NSAS to them that this want to overthrow Buhari? Do you believe that? That was the narrative they were peddling. It's true.
So these are the things I'm saying, because a lot of things have gone into the average mind of the northern brothers, our northern brothers. It is only the enlightened one that break out of that place, and they have now realized. But what I'm scared is that will the religious bigotry not press them back again? Because after the election, we didn't hear anything. We are not hearing anything, any signal for them. The reason why I'm saying this is that they are used to this thing, that somebody will bring food for them. One man will say it's because of it's God that made it so.
That's true.
They have been in this thing, and how are we going to get into their mind and sell this thing that we need to rescue our country back? We are diversified. We come from different, space, but we are one. This is our country. We have no other one. We need to bond together.
Mr. Black Panther.
That is what I'm taking. But these are the road map. This is what we need to undergo. We need to break that.
Mr. Black
Panther. There's no need. If you are fighting, the pressure is coming from the south only. Then we are going, and we see our own brothers coming again to fight us that are fighting for generality of all.
Mr. Black Panther. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, you were saying that we need at the northern part of Nigeria with us and all that. I believe that the northern problem, the misinformation and all the religious tonation surrounding their ideology about who they are as a person and how they see Nigeria, the solution lies on our fellow northern brothers, the ones who are enlightened, to educate the people. Listen, we are all dealing with different issues at different regions. And we have gotten to the point where, first of all, the internet has even helped them halfway. Let me use the word halfway. The reason why I say halfway, at least in Nigeria today, many people have Android phones. Many people have friends of friends who has Android phones, right? So when I say halfway, they are seeing a lot of information online. Many of them are getting their information online. Now, when they go, even the so-called imams, with all due respect, not so-called, the imams and their religious leaders, they all have access to the internet. They're all seeing a lot of information. So if somebody is not telling you, if the internet is showing that this is how this is exactly what is going on, and they show you proof, live proof, not fabricated, live, and then your imam will not tell you something contrary or try to make you reason like you don't have a brain. Is it my responsibility now? Forget me even being a Southerner to say I have to still educate you. No. So it is a choice. If you say you are used to it, we have people in the South that are still used to this suffering now. It's not a man that came out yesterday and from Lagos, they were interviewing, that was talking like he was not mentally stable. He was saying we should give Agbado chance. But look at how he was looking. He was looking like a 70-year-old man. So can you convince that man now? He has access to television. He has access to social media. And even if he doesn't have an Android phone, he will have a friend or a colleague or somebody on the street say, oh, guys, see what they happen, or whatever the newspaper that they go read. He has access to information. It's a choice. It's a choice that the northern oligarchs have to teach their people. The people, if they want to be emancipated, if they're really sick and tired of this continuous suffering, and like, you know what, I have seen on the internet that somebody like me, a Fulani man or a Hausa man or one of these tribes in the north, that I can create a motorbike. The guy that designed this car, is it Chrysler? I don't know if it's Chrysler. No, it's not Chrysler. American car. He's a northern Nigerian man.
He's from
He's a
Sokoto.
northern. Yes. So what are we talking about? So the internet has helped us halfway.
Jamiu Aliyu.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the popular. It's not Chrysler. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it's Chrysler. I can't remember now. But so somebody, if you want to be inspired, like, how did this man get here? It means that what my imam is telling me with this, how has it helped me over the decades? How has it helped me? So I still don't believe it's the responsibility of the Southerners now to try to convince them. We have the elite, we have the educated people in the South, in the North, that can start gathering up people and start educating people and say this is the right way to go. We are fighting for Nigeria. It's not just about religion. Push religion aside. They can even use Saudi Arabia. They can use Dubai, that everybody knows. Everybody in the North, they go to Dubai.
Yeah.
All their wife go there. They don't have, when they go to do marriage, they go and shop in Dubai. Everything is in Dubai. All the gold and the fabrics they wear, they get it from Dubai. So they're not. You should tell them, like, listen, even in Dubai, the Emir of Dubai built a church.
Yeah.
Built a church. You should tell them that, look at, in Dubai, they're not using religion to cause wahala. People are going to, everybody's managing their business. Push religion aside. And they should give them examples where religion has caused continuous suffering. Example, Afghanistan. Religion, there's one imam that talks online, and he talks about what religion has done to so many Middle Eastern countries. And what he's trying to do, he's trying to educate people, like, you cannot force people. You cannot force in this day and time to say jihad. This is not the time of 15th century or 12th century where you say jihad, you're holding sword. You want to carry a sword with a horse and you're running like Omar Mukhtar in Libya of those days with Mussolini. It's not going to work. Warfare is not fought that way. You can't force religion upon people. It's respect for each religion. They should start citing examples of Dubai, because I'm using Dubai. Many of their children school in Dubai, the UAE, and they are hearing me and they know what I'm saying is the truth. So they've seen how Dubai is. They have seen it. It's not the World Cup they did in Qatar. They just did the Football World Cup in Qatar, a highly religious nation. There was nothing like, they did not see, the only thing that was the LGBT they were against. They didn't want that, or alcohol. Every other thing was Christians that were there, atheists, Buddhists, they were playing football. So how was religion help that country? The people that even built those stadiums, if you research, if you go to how they built those stadiums in Qatar, most of the people that went there, they're even Indians, Hindu, they're not even Muslims that built those stadiums. They're not even Muslims, they're from India, Bangladesh. Most of them came because of work to build those stadiums that they were enjoying in Qatar. They should start educating them. As I said, it's 50% solved. Show them the internet. This is what is happening. And say, are these people Muslims? Look at Dubai. The Emir built this church here. It doesn't mean that he hates everybody there. Why is it different in Nigeria? They should start saying those things. So when you have this Sultan of Sokoto, I mean, the person who is representing Islam in Nigeria, if they're not willing to educate, their people, and I know you have extremists, if they're not willing to educate their people, I don't see how that's my problem, because I'm dealing with a lot of problems in the South already. I am dealing with even people that are even still following these oligarchs. Even, and seriously, same thing with the East and the West. It's the same thing. So we all have to have one common denominator. Can anybody use religion to twist my mind? Does religion help me with my suffering? Is religion educating me so that I can stand in the world class and gathering, and I can change my nation? I can reduce suffering in my family and my community. Has religion helped me? Take a look at my life. You know, they should start to look at your life now. All this, our culture, we are the North, we are the owner of Nigeria. How has he helped me? How has he helped the woman carrying all the Amadiri? How has he helped me? You should be asking those fundamental questions. So when their man is talking, the other half of their mind will be saying, but this our guy said, really, this thing has not really helped me. Oh. Maybe I should choose the other way. Look at Dubai now. It's not an emir of Dubai. Even if they've never traveled there, they've heard, everybody in the North knows Dubai, everybody. See, if the emir of Dubai can build a church of Jesus Christ.
It's true.
A church. Then, so therefore, this religion is not really working in Nigeria. Are they using me? Perhaps they are using me. Because if you look at this imam now, you will not check his children. Perhaps one of the oligarchs has taken one of the children to be a local government chairman, or their child is schooling in Dubai. You look at their house, the car they are driving, and they say, this rank are they the one that they do. This, maybe not they help me. Oh. So ignorance is not an excuse. We have gone past that now. This is the jet age. If you go on social media, and you look at, there's so many websites, Muslim northern weddings in Nigeria, northern weddings. When you see the videos, you see the music they're playing. If you see, in fact, they even dance to what's this? What's this musician's name in the 70s? They know everything. Forget all those hijab and everything. So many of them are fully aware. Many of them are fully aware of what's happening. So that's not our problem. They're just selfish. Let's call it the way it is. They're just selfish. There's no excuse. We are tired. If they don't want to jump the bandwagon, without due respect to them, if they don't want to join, well, they have to find a way to work it out. It's difficult, but it's doable. So they should start citing examples, start trying to convince their people. Use Dubai as an example. Use Afghanistan, use countries that where they put religion, it has not worked for them. Look at where they are today. Use all that so that they are emotional. It's just the same way we talk about pastors now. We're educating people that stop paying tithes. And I'm saying it, stop paying tithes. Stop paying tithes. When we talk about our pastors and GO, we are saying stop paying tithes. So it is left for them now to talk to them and say their imam is preaching religion to twist their mind because of some personal aggrandizement of some kind of political power, why he's not even thinking about the people. Then it is not left for the brave northerners now, or even if they want, I'm talking about if it's religion now, if it's Eastern, the brave ones inside to say, hey, listen, this imam, you're not teaching the proper teachings of the Quran. No, this is not how it is. Okay, look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is not a few years ago that they started allowing their wives to drive, even in Dubai now. So people are evolving. What is all this? Wearing a hijab doesn't mean that you cannot live a life. So this thing has everybody should be awakened right now. There's no excuse. Anybody that's giving an excuse, just know they're on the side of the oppressor. That is not rocket science. That's what I have to say, my brother. I'm sorry I took a long time.
Mother Rita, what I want you to factor in again is that all these things you say, they are self-evident. They know. But the thing is, for those people we regard as elite or those that are enlightened, to have their hold in power, they have to impoverish their people and not expose them to this type of truth we're saying. When people, for your mind to receive the truth, when people, they've been conditioned not to believe. I think you heard Haruna Goro say it, what they tell them, that look, don't allow these Southerners to deceive you. If we lose power, we become their slaves. The Southerners can decide to go to Europe and wash plates and do anything and send money home and live well. Can you do it? It's only power we have. If you let them, if you don't listen to us, when they say this. So of course I know I can't just give up or rule out that it cannot be changed. But let us know that this is the enormity of the problem before, so that you size the, you evaluate the problem you are going to face. That communication gap, that is what the people will like to blind. Remember that Ahmed told, I know if you remember, at the early stage, Peter Obi did not venture into the north. Everywhere was saying Peter Obi just campaigning in the south. When is he going to the north? Until that Ahmed granted interview, he said there are a lot of gold land mines they sold for Peter Obi. That's why I told Peter, wait, concentrate on the south now. He had to go to the north, penetrate them, to tell them, tell them that, look, all these things they're telling you is lies. He said it was after that that the northern youths are saying they want to welcome Peter, let him come up. They want to see him. They are waiting for him. So this has always been their system. They impoverish their people, make them not to trust, believe anything any southern person tells them with respect to changing the order, telling them that, look, okay, if you now go and tell them now, if you tell them, look at Dubai, don't you like it? They will. Of course, they will understand it. But the moment they are people, they are people you feel that they will use their language to convince them, tell them that this is what, like some point like Sheikh Husani, they will say, look, this one is a stooge. They want a Christian to come and be dominating you here. Don't listen to them. They are suffering. But my prayer is, let there be a combustion. Let it just come within them all of a sudden, because it's a human nature. You can't cheat people for long. Even when we do not even carry out a crusade to go and educate them or explain to them, like you said. My wish is that all of a sudden they will say no, like Obi has tried in doing to them, because Haruna Goro said, they now said no. They told them to hate Igbo man, don't listen to the Southerners. But they said, look, we've tried everything in the north. Look at the way we are suffering. We will vote for this man. That's why they have to resort to INEC to do all these shenanigans. If not, there has been a revolt, because Obi got votes in the north from Plateau, Benue up till even Kaduna, Katsina. Some voted. They voted. So there's no doubt about that. But however, we shouldn't give up any opportunity. We still have to be saying it. I wish some of the northern people will be coming to this platform. Those that can listen, then we tell them this is what you have to go. Because if I talk to them, yes, they will hear me and get. But what if I turn my back and go? What will then another person come in to inject one type of falsehood, pump some falsehood into their brain, tell them not to remember? You see, that is the thing. That's what we are facing. Most of these things they know, but I don't know why they are so dogmatic in thinking that they do not want to revolt against their people. Because this thing can happen down south. They know it. And that is why the timely revolution, the type of revolution we need that will come from the grassroots, the poor people, the way it is proving difficult in the north, because there are politicians or whoever, in order for them to get hold of the power or what they are doing, they will go and tell them, twist everything, and even sort of blackmail them using religion or tribe. But it will take time. I know it will take time. Who knows? This might be the time, because at least Obi tried. It has exposed them. Who knows that? How can somebody say that a certain politician, a Christian, will be winning more than 1 million votes in Plateau and all those things? But it happened. So all in all, we know the problem is there, but we just have to appreciate that these are the challenges we will face. But be that as it may, there's no way we cannot be conquered. Nothing is impossible. It's only that we appreciate that while doing it, we know that we have our job cut out. Busy Brain, Madam Busy Brain, Jonathan, give us a mandate. Who is with
Are they all sleeping?
Probably they are eating. I don't know.
Maybe they are asleep.
What time is it in the
US?
Okay, in the US. I think it's evening in the US. Maybe
it's 8 o'clock my time. It's 8 o'clock here.
It's 6:59 here.
7 p.m.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, okay. That is still a good time. It's still a good time. So
thank you very much.
About okay, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was about to Mr. Emmanuel. I see F. Emmanuel is there. He's not speaking.
Okay, yes, it's true. F. Emmanuel. Is it? Yes, F. Emmanuel, the chap. Hello, F. Emmanuel. Maybe they're far away, otherwise they would have had us.
What's our mandate? Go ahead now.
You guys have hijacked my position now. Since Madam Rita is there, so let me just allow it to flow.
Now lie. Now you run away. Now you disappear.
Initially it was Black Panther. After that, moderator came. I said, okay, let me allow them to keep talking. Let me be listening. Anyway, how are you guys?
Well, not
Good
bad.
evening. Thank you for the wonderful submission once again.
Yeah.
Well, like once I will submit based on what everybody has submitted, what we need to know now is that the world right now is a global village. There is nothing that you do anywhere in this world that is not at anybody's palm. So anybody acting ignorant is at its own peril. Sincerely, it's at its own peril because your gadget, your handset is enough tool for you to know what is happening globally everywhere. So if we are looking at the northern people as if they are held, hostage or by their religion or all that, I don't think that should be the major reason. I know a lot of them are still suffering, which I know that, but majority of them right now wise up. Sincerely, majority of them, just that what is holding them so much is that religion. Not as if they don't know what is happening. They are like 99.9 loyalists to their religion than any other thing. Majority of them are aware of what is happening or global happenings, but it's just that they are so much attached to that religion, which is a major stronghold, to break. So that is that. Then for expected, what was it called, Supreme Court,
Mhm.
as it is right now, I know. Just CJ and Ariola, I know right now he's already feeling the heat. He's already feeling the heat already. Because for him, in his mind, he already seen the goof that Petition Tribunal has caused already. So he himself wouldn't want to maintain maintain that same goofy. So he would want to redeem himself to an extent. Because if you look at that statement that Mr. Ebb is keep playing every now and then, if he does otherwise, then that means the whole responsibility in his hand. I mean, he has told a lie to the whole world what he stands for. So let's just keep hope alive and see how far it's going to go. Because right now, the attack on Bado is coming out every nook and cranny. We've shifted from the petition tribunal. Now we are expecting the Supreme Court, but also expecting what's going to happen in the appeal. Before we get to Supreme. So there's a lot to deal with. That that the Supreme will have to redeem what's it called? Will I say legitimacy? Will cover up his shame rather? So that is that. Then what again for Ano Che, that so-called woman. On his stomach infrastructure now. These people, when they have tested power and after some time they're out of it, they want to go back by all means. So they always want to support the ruling party and, to see how they can wriggle themselves back to power. But unfortunately for her, she has matched the wrong line. So she can't do anything. That is just her own opinion. As long as the well-meaning Nigerians are concerned, that does not change anything. That does not make any sense. So Obi is the freest person. If she as soon as Obi, let her come to Nigeria and walk about and go to anywhere she wants to go and see. Let's see the difference. So I can't see the reason why she will just make people just because talk is free. People just like to open their mouth and speak nonsense. So that is for that. Then for what the info that Mr. CM just updated us about Tommy, a meeting they have via Zoom. respect to coming out to stage some protest. I think for me, I don't know how they will read meaning to it if they eventually come out. I'm not saying they shouldn't come out, but right now with all the arrests will be do this and they come and state that protest again, don't you think like that people they like that is how they corner statement, even though what you are trying to do is not in life, is not exactly what that's what you call intent. They will not say, why didn't he come and say it? Why is it now? So Obi is the one. He's the one. They'll say they will just link everything to Obi. So for me, I think we should still tread with caution and see how far the Supreme will, what will be the outcome. So that is for that for now. If I have more things, I will drop in the panel. Thank you so much. Back to CM. Give us our mandate, or Madam Rita, my honorable sister Elo. Thank you.
That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Okay. Who is next?
Give us our mandate. We'll talk again. You don't work.
Hello.
I know. I mean, I have to observe all protocols now. I have to give way for the honorable.
Or are you doing any experiment?
Mr. Alice is not here to borrow me English. I mean, all protocols really observe. Nothing much to say. You just to say the fact that whoever is calling for Obi's arrest, I think I put it on Twitter that they should do it on time. Onoche, I mean, she would have just gone to Mr. Peter Obi's house and then go and arrest him instead of asking for DSS. You just carried like two DSS and go and arrest him. The American issue that you guys deliberated on earlier, and I think Madam Rita gave a wonderful submission on that, because regardless of what is happening in America, I don't think that's our own problem right now. Our own house is on fire. We should be able to deal with our own situation. Whatever Trump or Biden does here, let the Americans handle their problem. All we care to get from them is for them to release Tinubu's whatever they need to release, even though there are some political undertone. But regardless, the Supreme Court have a lot of things to do. They are the one that will have to save the country. And I think if maybe tomorrow, if Mr. Elvis can look for, there's a video where Ariwola was saying that, I think we were asking a question, and he said he has to uphold the Constitution. So we'll see how all of those things plays out. But all the same, let's wait for Supreme Court. I'm not giving up hope. Like Black Panther said, Tribunal have actually helped to put Supreme Court in a tight corner. So let's see what they will do. Let's see how they will deal with the situation that they are, because Tribunal have tied the hand of Supreme Court, which is definitely of Abuja, double nomination, and then the forgery. So let's see how those things will play out. So I'll just leave it here for now. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me, Mr. Sia, can I come in now?
Okay, you can. Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In addition to what give us our mandate said, I think I will start from there, where he ended. For the Supreme Court, their job is cut and dry. It's cut and dry for them. The Supreme Court must either, now as it stands, they must either come up to clean up this messy table, as I described it earlier. It's a messy. They've set up this messy table. It's very, very messy. They either come to clean it up or even make it messier. And making it messier, that will be devastating to the entire judicial and electoral system. in Nigeria. So their job is cut out for them. We saw what happened in other judgments after their September 6 criminal judgment. So it is now left for them. So they have to come now. They have to come now, either to come and clean it up. In fact, more on them to come now and clean this mess up, or they even destroy it further. That's just as simple as that. It can't be simpler than that, as far as the Supreme Court work is concerned. With respect, there has been this allegation going around now that the justices were paid. The alleged money payments to these justices, what they are missing, these justices or even these criminals in Nigeria, they continue to miss that. And that just kept on, I just get amazed each and every time that they are missing the fact this is 21st century. This is 21st, for crying out loud. This is 2023 for crying out. Unless that alleged money was brought to them in Ghana must go bags. Unless they brought this alleged money to them in Ghana must go bags. Even if that money was paid to them through a third party, it does not matter. It will still be traced to each and every one of them. As the American will say, follow the money. Follow the money. There are human beings working in financial institutions all across the world. There are human beings working across all these financial institutions in the world. So this thing will be traced back to them in this age and time. They might have done that in the past in Nigeria, but this will come out. It may not be now. It may not be before the Supreme Court decision, but it will come out. All it takes is the likes of someone like even Atiku. And we have many of such in Nigeria. All you need to do is just to engage some freelance people in US. Even in Europe, they will get the job done. They will track this money. Even if you pay the money, this is how it is done. Let's say it the way it is. Let's just tell them that there's no game they are playing that we don't know. And that is one of the tricks Tinubu has been using over the years, the likes of Tinubu and others. They can pay this money in tranches. So if they want to pay somebody the 5 million, they can pay it in 3-4 tranches and distribute it to different accounts. But the ultimate destination is the beneficiary, which is the justices. So the money can be traced. It does not matter how they do it. So if you think Nigerians don't know this, gone are the days. Those days are past. So if they are hearing now, this is the trick. And I know that somehow, they will get to hear, they will know that, the game is over. Because even if you split it in tranches into it's still an allegation. I'm not saying it's alleged. Everything that is still an allegation, but we just want to let them know that we know the game.
Mr. Jonathan,
we know how it is. Yeah, I'm with you.
Do you think with Bokachua's submission, then who again? I think what happened during Buhari? For me, it is honestly it is sad that we are at this point in our country where the life of a common man does not matter to these judiciaries. Because if you look at the election, let's take for example that one boy, that 19 years old boy that acquired himself in Plateau Jos. If you put that $5 million each, which is 27 million, all of them in total, that money does not worth the life of that boy. More so, over 80 people were acquired in the election. Will these justices say they didn't hear all of these stories? And they decide to do the will of their paid master. So for me, They know what they did because allegedly they were taken to France after the whole thing. All I can just say to the Obidient is that whoever probably can have a trace of trade, if Obidient have trace of this thing, they should just start flooding the internet with all these monies were being moved around. And I mean, allegedly, somebody told somebody, I mean, I heard from somebody that during the election, Tinubu, he spent about 1.3 trillion naira for the governors in the north. 1.something trillion naira for the governors in the north. So I mean, for me, the judges they just put themselves into trouble.
Okay, we don't have a check. It's just that, yeah, I agree with you, my brother. It's just that we don't have proper checks and balances in Nigeria. If not, all those things, they are just small job that the media will just track it and they will just blow that expose. They will bring all these things out. This money that they pay to these people, as I said, it will come out. It will come out. We are going to see how this money ended up. It's just that the Nigerians, we don't ask questions. The justices now, they will start buying properties. How suddenly you now have, even if you convert, these are all the strategies. The money will come in tranches, they will convert it to other currencies, to Swiss franc, to Chinese yuan and all the rest. But the money will still be, they will follow the money. They will follow the money to your account.
They will launder it. They will launder it.
Ultimately,
through
exactly.
A lot of process.
One thing that gives a criminal the audacity, the incentive to want to perpetrate the crime and go ahead with it is the idea that he will go scot-free, that he will not be caught. So they know their understanding is that they can do this and they will not be caught. Probably they've got some support or some, from their paymaster that don't worry, we will do this. You will not be traced, you will not be caught and everything. They've got such assurances from their paymaster. But this they forgot again, they kept on forgetting that this is 21st century. They will be tracked. That will come out. It's not Nigeria of the past. Even if they are bullied, because I know there's also the side comment that they are bullied, that probably some of them will have refused or wanted to refuse. But see, in Nigeria, as long as you are part of the system in Nigeria, you are involved in the Nigerian system, there's no way they will not have something on you. They have something on each and every one of these justices. That is the problem they have with Peter Obi. What is Peter Obi's crime? They have nothing against the man. So in Nigeria, it is either, you keep your mouth shut if you don't have anything incriminating in your cupboard. Even if you don't have it, they can still even accept the lies of Peter Obi in, as long as he will keep his mouth shut. He's not going to talk. The fact that Peter Obi is talking and saying a lot of things and bringing a lot, that is what is killing them. Fine, they can't find anything against you, but can you keep your mouth shut? That is the problem they have. So in Nigeria, it is either you keep your mouth shut, fine, we can still manage you, we can still accommodate you, while they are working so hard to make sure that they put something in your cupboard too, because they know that you are a threat. So there's nobody in Nigeria, without exception, no exception. In fact, categorically, as far as no exception, all of them have something in the cupboard, inside their cupboard, that can be used against them at any point in time. That is the reason why what Madam Rida, alluded to earlier. It's a messy system. It has to be completely, breaking down. Everything must be brought down. There is no everything must be brought down in Nigeria. The game that they play, everything must be brought down, because there's nobody in the Nigerian scheme of things right now that does not have one thing or the other in his cupboard. And if you think you are a saint, that you can go into this system as it were right now, You want to, without the intention of, first of all, dismantling the whole process. That is what is killing them about Peter Obi. Peter Obi is not even just saying that, okay, I'm coming in and the status quo will remain. I'm going to break the house down. Even overtly or openly or covertly, he has expressed that, and that is what is killing them. They can't withstand that. Somebody that will come in and break everything down, that they just can't stand that. They can't. And there is nobody in that system. Nobody will come in Nigeria now and say he's a saint. I will just go in. I'm good at that. I will just want to contribute to the system, my own quota. When I get there, you know, they've used this phrase for us over the years that you cannot contribute from the outside. You have to be part of it to be able to contribute. It's a lie. Once you get inside, the first thing they will do, they make sure they get you within the first few months. They will throw some things at you. You know, like when you want to catch, you know, when those days you want to get a bird, you will put some food like a trap, and they will pretend as if they are not seeing you. They will put some millions and billions around you and pretend as if they are not seeing you. And then you too, over time, you will pick it up. That's all. And they will pretend. Nobody will talk. They will even come out to praise you. That's it. You are in already. That's how they capture each and every one of them. So you can't go into the Nigerian system as it stands.
That is why most of our Labour Party representatives, all of them, they kept quiet.
That's it. In fact, one of the things that they should have done, the finest opportunity that they had, was when Tinubu nominated Fagbemi. At least you must set the record straight. Let it be on the record of the Senate. Even though you know you don't have the vote, you don't have the majority to change the facts, but let it be on record. Come on the floor and say you are rejecting this man because there is already, you know, the issue of the man has to recuse himself. He cannot accept that, you know, that position at that time. There's a conflict of interest. The Labour Party, that was their finest opportunity. They say nothing. They kept more. You are not saying it because you want to overturn it. You are saying it because you want it to be on record. On the floor, it will be on record. Everything you said on the floor of the Senate is on record is on the archive. You have to state it clearly. They didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. So that
they have put honey in their mouth. Nobody.
That is it. That is it. That's what I was saying. That once you get into the system with the idea that you are a saint, you are coming in. So no, once you get in there, they will just put your own trap for you. And once you lick it, once you take it, it's all over. That's it. You can't say anything again. They can now, you become their puppets. They can now be running you up and down the place. So that is the problem we are. We are not fools in Nigeria. We know that 2 + 2 is 4. You know, it is inconsistency that can come up, and then you will start telling us that 2 + 2 is 6. Another one will come and say 2 + 2 is 8. Another one will come and say 2 + 2 is 10. We all know this thing, even in law, where it is said that, you know, the law is based on interpretation, that it is based on the spirit of the law. Still, the law is not stupid. It is not stupid. Coming up and telling us that 2 + 2 is 6, thinking that we are all stupid. No, we are not. We are not stupid. That's what this judiciary is taking Nigeria. They have taken Nigeria and Nigerians for thus far. But again, as I started earlier by saying, it is now in the Supreme Court. You know, it is in the Supreme Court's court. The ball is now in their court, either to clean it up, because if they don't, it will get messier and messier. They've given all the other tribunal the audacity now and the green light to be coming up with this absurdity, all these judgments that has no place in the law. So That's it. They have to come out and clean it up, or they make it messier. And as I said, that will not be that will not be good for Nigeria at all. And I think we are going to hear more of this in the coming days and weeks. We saw that today. Osita Chidoka, he stated it clearly, even though he's a PDP man. He stated it clearly today. I mean, it was the interview yesterday with Sheung on channels. He raised a very fundamental point that I think we're missing. And that is the fact that the results announced at the polling unit, when uploaded on IREF, the purpose of it to be uploaded on IREF is so that it can be compared. These are simple, these are just the simple, requirements that were stated there for everyone to see. We all know this, but now they want us to forget it. They don't want to talk about it again. That the purpose of uploading the results, so that when the collation is done and there are discrepancies, there is a reference point to go to. And the judiciary, these justices say nothing about that. They did not even say anything with reference to that. What they are saying is that it does not matter. That was a fundamental, area that, Osita Chidoka raised, today or yesterday at channels. So they are all coming out. Oshitoku also said so as well. The impunity that is going on.
Sorry to interject you.
Yeah.
I want to state here, the lawyers in Nigeria, I believe they are into this compromise itself, because they are not really coming out. People like Falana should come out and speak the truth, because this is not justice. What they released in the court of law, it was a sham. It was very clear that they were compromised. Very, very clear. They couldn't even query INEC. Rather, they were supporting INEC, as INEC has become authority. That was why we were saying here that how could you give such power and the sovereignty, the right to choose a president, despite you go all out to vote for one, but INEC will determine who is going to be the president. I thank God one panelist, I think it was in channels, no, Arise, that said that. That is the lacuna in your electoral law. You don't give absolute power without not being questioned, without not being, submit to a body that will tell you that, come and give us, why did you do this way? Why did you go off record? They own nobody explanation. They only own themselves explanation. And they even dictate to the judiciary, because what they are like, the INEC is like a doctor. Anything a doctor tells the judge, that is what the judge will believe, because they call him an expert. So the INEC is like an expatriate, that anything he tells the judiciary, they will conform. That is an aberration on electoral law in a sovereign state like Nigeria.
Yeah, even this one, they don't have the complete leeway. They don't have, even though they try to manipulate it. See, the law, even though it gives them the right to choose their own format of how the election will be conducted, you see, but at the same time, it stated clearly that one man the other day on was it on Arise? Yeah, that video that Mr. Elvis showed the other day between this guy, what is his name? This lawyer, that interview on Sunday. There's this lawyer on Arise with
the electoral law, was it mandatory? Because I don't know why they are
here's the thing. Yeah, this is how I see it. This is English, right? It is law, but it is also plain. The law is written. so that an ordinary man, just a layman, can read it and understand it. There's no need to go to court. You only go to court when you are interpreting it this way, and I am interpreting it the other way. Then the issue of going to a judge, in front of a judge to help us to settle it arises. But other than that, the intention of the lawmakers or framers of the law is that anybody can take it, read it, and interpret it. Right? It's like you are passing through a red light and then the light is red. Do you think you want anybody to come and interpret it for you that when it is red, you have to stop? That's what the law says. It's simple. So you see, it gave that law, that electoral act that they are all, pandering all over the place now. That's section 62, 63, 64 of the electoral act. It gives INEC fine, right? It gives them that right. Okay. It also, the right that it gives them the mandatory right, and it also gave them there's part of it that is mandatory. There is part of it that is not mandatory. The beavers is mandatory, right? That I know for sure. The beavers is mandatory. The other one, which is the upload, right, is not stated in law, but it's stated that INEC will choose how, which method INEC will determine. And then once INEC choose that, that's it. The INEC cannot, as they say in law, they use this word, they say, appropriate and reprobate. You can't do that. INEC now come up and now say that, brother, okay.
See, that is where the problem is. INEC will determine what method to use. That is where the problem is. That is where the politicians break the back of the camel, because that clause was not supposed to be there. They should have made it mandatory. If it is electronics, let it be full electronics. Nothing like optional.
Yeah, if at the end of the day, you see, the INEC throw away this process of uploading results, and allowing, the results that are collated and those want to be compared with the results that was, uploaded. Then what is the idea of spending that money? That's so much money on this technology. You don't need it. Then you just let us know that it is still manual process. It is still manual process. That the only thing is that there will be accreditation. That other than accreditation, every other thing is still manual. They come out and say that, but INEC fell short of that. There was nowhere. In fact, we all know. And if the judiciary really wants to be true to itself and to sustain Nigerian electoral law, Nigerian constitution, to uphold the Nigerian constitution, they must hold INEC responsible. Yes. There's no any other, shortcut. If they fall short of doing that effectively, they destroy the Nigerian electoral system. It means that next election, if there's going to be anything at all, then it's going to be a free fall for all. Nobody is going to obey any law, because we all know that not at the end of the day. In fact, I don't think it is even appropriate now to be talking about another election in Nigeria, when first of all, it is still this same criminal that conducted this election that is still sitting. He's still sitting there as the umpire, as the chairman. So it will be an aberration for anybody talking for change now, talking for things to be done, calling the judiciary upon the judiciary to do the right thing now, to be talking of another election. It will be hypocritical. It will be very unbalanced. You see, so I think that should be set aside. Our focus now should be on the judiciary doing what is right. That is the Supreme Court now. They must set things right if they don't want to, completely turn everything upside down in Nigeria. I'll leave it at that for now.
My brother, well said. It well said. I like your submission. See, where you know that this country called Nigeria is in short, is just a scam. You know that this country is a country that does not observe the rule of law at all. Right from when this currency redesign, just look at where there was a court injunction, court order. Buhari is acting differently. El-Rufai is acting differently in the same country. In the same country, and in the same law that is binding both same country. Everybody is acting differently. See how they are disobeying court order left and right. So that alone is already setting precedent to any other institution to follow suit. So that's why INEC can do whatever they are doing, and they are getting away with it. After all, if the president cannot observe the rule of law, if the governors cannot obey the rule of law, then why can't we do the same? You know? So that is a major thing. And this law is the last hope. The judiciary is the last hope of a common man. Okay, the high and mighty are breaking the laws. They made the laws and they are breaking it. INEC conduct an election just like a game. Okay, what is the rule of this game? A and B. This is the set rule. If you do this way, if you comply by the rule 1, 2, 3, and you have certain number, you win. But if you don't meet it, you lose. It's as simple as that. It's just like a referee, you know, in a football match. You say, okay, this is the rule of the game. Okay, let's start. Let me observe. You know, but why will it be that in the middle of the game or at the consummation of the game, you, the referee, begin to choose who wins what? What about the rules that you set for yourself, the guideline? That's okay. I'm going to declare the winner based on this rule, based on this guideline. And all the players, they are playing with the expectation that there is a guideline that we are playing this game. And at the end, the referee now begin to take side. You see?
It's just so like
that is the whole problem of this hula baloo.
Yeah, talking about INEC, flagrant, disregard to the rule of law. You just oppose it with what is going on in the US now, this Chicago State University case that is going on in the US. It's like Chicago State University, just deciding that they are not, all the instruction that the judge has been giving them, they just decide that they are not going to deliver on it. And then the same judge will still come out and give a judgment. The judge will, you see how Chicago State University was just responding to each and everything. In fact, today he told them that their response is going to be by email and he wants it tonight. It's not that the response is going to come tomorrow or you are going to file it. No, he wants it via email to him directly. He wants their response as to why he will not make a judgment on this case, on this matter. So those lawyer, they must respond tonight, whatever time is Eastern time. They must respond to the judge today via email. That is what we're talking about. Judges in Nigeria sat down there, they call themselves justices, not just ordinary. We're talking of justices of the appeal court. They gave order, and INEC openly flouted those orders, knowing fully well. And these judges knowing fully well that what the order they gave will form part of the evidence that will be used in this case. You know that up front. And you still come back again to flog the petitioner that they did. You see, this is just so mind-boggling. It's not there in the open. It's just like a thief robbing in the open. That's just what they did. You gave orders to INEC, not once, not twice. In fact, you had pre-election. The question is, what is the purpose of pre-election hearing? Pre-trial hearing. What is the purpose? The purpose is for you to say, okay, this is how we are going to do it. These are the evidences we are going to submit. So you judges, you are just waiting for them to commit the mistake. In the court of law, when the process is going on, the judge can come in. After all, we saw it many times when when they are delivering submitting their evidences and exhibit, they will come out openly and say, oh, that name is not what I really intended. There's a spelling error. And the judge will say, okay, fine, please correct it. Okay, well noted. Because that is it. It's like the judge is pretending as if, no, I'm not going to say anything. Tinubu lawyers made such comment on the floor of the court, not once, not twice. They are all there for us to see. Just with name. It's like the judges now pretending as if nothing happened, and they're coming to give judgment that the names that it is not actually the real name. When you, the judge, had the opportunity to correct, to make that decision, right there, to make that decision, they didn't do that. You know that the petitioner needs this document, and INEC, openly, deliberately, and they come back and they raise this matter in court. You give no order to INEC, which means that everything is premeditated. You know what you are going to do. You know the technicalities that you are going to sit on at the end of the day. So you just give INEC the room. Continue. Just continue playing the game. We know what we are going to do. So what do you want the petitioners to do? After all, there was pre-hearing, and they stated, we are going to do this, we are going to do that. These are going to be our witnesses. We are going to subpoena ABC. You are there. And then you came and now say that it's not in the original petition. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible. That's why, again, I said it's so messy right now. The Supreme Court will have to clear this up. Thank you very much. Why I must say that, I don't have any, I must clear that, I don't have any confidence in the Supreme Court. I don't have any confidence or any trust that they are going to do anything, good. Not at all. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have it. But again, their job is well cut out for them. Thank you.
Well, you've spoken well. You've spoken very well, and I believe, like I still stand this my solid ground. That I am scared for the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court has already given a verdict on the 25%. How are they going to now go against their own verdict? That is what I am concerned. And people, we are seeing this as a very light thing. If the Supreme Court,
my brother, you see that is my brother. You see that Black Panther. What you said now is exactly what I've stated earlier. I think in the earlier broadcast today. That that there's a judgment now in Owerri, where they gave they disqualified this House Rep PDP man from Owerri, right? They throw the man's case. The PDP elect the House of Rep Ikenga, representing North-South Federal Constituency in Imo State. It was removed by the petition by the tribunal yesterday. The tribunal sitting in Owerri. It was removed. His election was upturned. On what ground? On the ground that the primary election which produced him was invalid. And the presidential petition tribunal last week said pre-election, primary election is a party matter. So they are now turning their own decisions, their own judgment upside down. Upside down. Ikenga is crying all over. Ikenga is crying all over the place now. He's going to the Supreme. Yeah, so you said that, and just this last week, they made their own on Wednesday. Another tribunal made their own on Monday. 3 or 4 business days in between. So which is which now? Which is which? So what you said earlier, that the Supreme Court made judgment with respect to 25%, are they now going to come and say, no, that one that we made, that was not the case? So we have to, come up with some
that is why
judicial gymnastics.
That is why I'm saying I pity for them, because I'm scared
they
for them.
They have just succeeded in making our judicial process messy. That's just what I've just done. They have just succeeded in making all our judicial process messy.
their decision will lead to lawlessness in the country. I'm telling you this thing. If it happens that the Supreme Court now talk down on the 25%, which they have already given verdict to, then there will be lawlessness, and the next election, I don't think it's going to hold, because all this charade will lead to us to come together and rewrite our constitution. I've been saying this for long. People were thinking I was lying.
It's correct, my brother. See, the Supreme Court, that decision that I was referring to earlier in Owerri yesterday, the Supreme Court will probably, most likely, throw it out. On what ground? That there was a subsisting judgment on that, right? So if they use that to throw that out, on what ground are they now going to stick to 25%? They also have to throw that out now, that they're on the ground that there was a subsisting Supreme Court. So you cannot say, okay, that one, there was a Supreme Court, previous Supreme Court judgment, so we are throwing it out. But on 25%, no, there wasn't. So if you can see inside the muddy water that they now find themselves, that is what corruption does. It makes you stupid, and you will become so inconsistent and so hypocritical.
The one that this man commit perjury, and you are not saying it's non-intentional. The double nomination is non-intentional. I don't know if that is in law book. When you commit a crime, you say it's non-intentional. I need a lawyer.
Now they are telling us that ignorance is acceptable. It's not enough. It's not acceptable enough.
That is the quotation now. I need a lawyer to tell me to make me understand. Though I am confused.
When Donald Trump said Nigeria is a shoothole country, you think he's just talking? When Nnamdi Kanu say Nigeria is what's it called? Zoo, you think he's just saying? So these are the indicators, these are the parameters that when you put one or two together, you begin to struggle how to even call this country. If you want to back them up in this area, they slip up. If you want to consider this area, no angle that is working. All the institutions are in the state of comatose. What a mess!
It is a complete. It is a complete mess. In fact, tsunami or whatever that delayed justice there. In fact, see, he even quoted categorically, not an assertion, categorically that Nigeria has 37 states. He said it. I was even, maybe, when you are listening to that judgment, sometimes you will miss some lines. You will miss some lines here and there, to actually put it together and to make sense. But when you now have the opportunity to see it,
you see those judges, those judges, there's no how they're not going to arrest them. Just what? There's no how they're not going to arrest them. As time goes on, something will prompt up and they will seek for their arrest. That is how they arrest the former Chief Justice now for just small thing that they did wrong. They now make it so big. What they've done for misinterpreting the Constitution, they are going to. It's more than a criminal offense. The way I see it, when you use logic instead of you to stand as an authority to interpret it the way we see. This in is English now. There's no spirit of the law in 25% now. There's nothing like spirit of the law. There's nothing like say you use your own assumption. You can't use your assumption in a law court. It is your own understanding and your own how you are, you can't use assumption. Assumption is way out because everything that judge said was that his own assumption. That means it's not even clear in his own knowledge of the Constitution itself.
It will say, if I may quote him, it will say, in my own view. That's the word he used, Tamani, over and over and over again.
Should a judge says, in my own view, you are sitting as an authority. There's nothing like in my own view. You will stand as an authority and stake your neck there. That is why you are a judge. You know it. Experience has shown it. You know it. But when you say,
let his view remain his view. Let his view remain his view. Let's look at the Constitution. What is the Constitution saying? It's the Constitution that brought him there. That same constitution that he swore and got to that seat where it is today, let him follow the constitution and forget his bloody view. His view is not the constitution. It's just his opinion.
System where there's no check, a system where there is no checks and balances, the impunity, inconsistency, and outright criminal acts will be the order of the day, where there is no, because even if they have the intention, they want to do it, but the fact that they know that there is a check, a proper check or recheck on them, that will make them to kind of slide back a little bit, because as human beings, human beings will always be human beings. You can't give people total benefit of doubt. You can't, especially in Nigeria. Every Nigeria, especially those that are in authority, even those that claim that they are saints, they have that propensity to be corrupt. To be corrupt, because there is nothing robust about checks and balances. Nothing. Where do you want to start from? Where do you even leave the three arms of government? We know that those ones, they are beyond redemption. They are corrupt beyond redemption, unless there is a complete breakdown of everything, of the rules that they are applying right now. You see? What about the media, the civil society? Those ones are even, they are even, that country, as long as you are there, you are in that system. You see, there's no way. There's no way. You just have to be on the path of history and follow the movement to restore Nigeria back. But if you say you want to one way or the other be part of these people, be part of this system,
in short, you know what I'm thinking? I miss Gani. If Gani was alive, all these people would be in trouble. All these people will be in trouble because you cannot interpret the constitution with your own assumption. the thing is funny, and people like Falano have not spoken. People like oh my God, these lawyers are not speaking. In short, judiciary, they need for problem. They are in big trouble.
Is it because what they will say, they have this, if they want to be crooked, those lawyers in Nigeria, those that are in that legal constituency, when they want to be, they want to play games, they will say, I don't want to say anything against the judges or judicial because that is my constituency, because they are thinking that one day I might still end up in front of this judge.
But they're giving judgment now.
They will still have to romance it. They will have to romance it. It's that way. I want to remember the name of that guy who's that lawyer now, that guy who was with Wokobia this past Sunday on Arise. He was debating Wokobia on Arise this past Sunday. I've forgotten the name of that guy. This lawyer. He was the one now. He was talking about his constituency. He doesn't want to, just romancing the truth. That is the game that the likes of Falano. That's what they are playing, because they will still end up in their meeting, and he doesn't want to come out and
When they want to lie, that's what they do. They hide under that umbrella. They forget that they were first of all Nigerians before they became a lawyer. So it's unfortunate that some of our legal luminaries, luminaries, they are speaking with both sides of their mouths. So just unfortunate. They are even aging and advocating these corrupt people, these corrupt politicians. They don't know that they are aging and advocating what they are doing. They are strengthening illegality in the name of lawyers. They are strengthening the illegality that is in the system. Based on what they judge, based on all the adjudication they've given so far.
Mm-hmm. It's really a shame because nobody is challenging nobody is challenging the interpretation, and all the lawyers are keeping mute.
Yeah, that's the Nigerian style. That's fall in line.
I can't believe my ears. Sometimes I hear them, I just laugh. What did they worry about now? Hey, they just keep mute.
They will not say anything now. They will fall
They
in
just
line
keep
because
mute.
they
They
are,
don't even, nobody they talk. Business as
because
usual. And you
it's
call it
business as usual now.
you call it judiciary. You wake up early morning and say, I'm going to the court. I'm going to defend my client. Which client? Which court? You're going to
That's
which
what
court?
they do.
Man, it's a shame. Well, it's a shame. Oh. That's why that guy that was one of the Labour Party, one of the spokesperson of Peter Obi, that is a lawyer. I now know why that guy pulling regalia. You know they do law again. Because the man, the man know them well.
In Nigeria, it is either you join them or you leave them. That's
He's
it.
very, very right. He has it has convinced everybody now that what he was saying before is right. It's either you join them because you know the legality inside them. They are God of men. They put themselves like God of men. And the illegality there, the corruption there, it make the man weak. I believe he has experienced it. He was trying to say, but there was no way he could bring it up, but he just got to use a parable to cover it up. Because the guy has really seen the corruption in them. That was why I was saying it. And I just thank him for taking that boldness to pull that their that wig where they wear and the black.
Yeah, that's why Olisa. That's why Olisa's son, what's his name? This man. That's why he said he lost almost 2 or 3 cases. You know, in when this woman, Bukashwa, you know, when she was presiding over, you know, some of his cases, you can now understand, you know, where all those judgments came from, because, you know, everything was settled, you know.
So
what surprises me, our lawyers, they behave as if there is no other, like other African countries within the West Africa, other, you know, African countries. They also have lawyers too now. Didn't they see how they handle that? Look at Kenya. How long did they take them to handle theirs?
They will tell you, you know, Nigerian lawyers will tell you that if you don't fall in line, you better go and be charge and bail lawyer. If you don't want to be charge and bail lawyer, you want to be in, you have to fall in line, you know, here and there. And then, you know, you have to be a good boy to to those that are up there. You must be a good boy. First of all, they give you preferences. They make sure that your cases are taken to judges that will give you that, you know,
in short,
that treatment.
I know they respect any lawyer again. All of them, I laugh, I go to life and see them. Is it if you lawyer, you lawyer? See what your papa they do for court.
In fact, you know that it's now that it's clearer to me. When we were growing up, they usually tell us that all lawyers are liars. Initially, it is not sinking in my brain that how can they say a noble profession like that? How can they say they are all liars? You know, so that they lie by the books. I said, okay. So it's not that it's getting clearer to me that really they can see black and call it white.
Don't even call them noble. He did very, very far now. These people, they be gangster where they wear gun.
They are gangster. That's just it. They are gangster. They are just, it's all stomach infrastructure for them. Because, see, that guy, if any one of them comes on this mainstream media and say anything contrary, number one, in fact, if he has any case at all or cases that are kind of mouth-watering, they will withdraw those cases from him. They'll give it to another law firm. So he knows he knows that that's where the problem will start from. So there are cases that all those mouth-watering cases where they make their money, they are paying them millions. They will just withdraw those cases. They will just go and look and say, okay, maybe, you know, all these Nigerian politicians, they are in the board of directors of most of these companies that have big cases in the courts that are pending. Some of these cases can run for 3, 4, 5, even 10 years, and lawyers are eating out of it for all that period. They will just withdraw it from him and, you know, give it to another lawyer. That's all. It's all about the amount. That's what they are in. Like that is how it works. It works. That's why you see a brilliant lawyer in Nigeria. He will not have any headway. He won't have serious headway. He will not be neither there nor there. He will just be, like average lawyer in terms of, monetary or financial success, in his career. But you will see some mediocre lawyers. You don't even know where they come from. They will give them all these mouth-watering cases that will end up in the Supreme Court. It was this period that I began to see some people. I said, how did this one even get SAN? How did this one become SAN? I started seeing some people that, oh my God, that thing they call SAN, they have rubbish it to the point where you just see some people, you just be imagining that, how did this one get it? Become SAN? Because it's primarily based on the number of cases that you have handle at the Supreme Court level. At the Supreme Court level, at least you must have 10. To have 10 cases at Supreme Court level is a tough one.
Black Panther. Black Panther, you are not a vigilant man. You are not a vigilant man. I don't do for backstage. They tell you to make you alert Mr. Evans for me. You don't do the yarn.
Which one I be watch night?
You are not vigilant.
I'm not the National Guard Reserve, I beg.
Thank you very much for finally bringing me in. I was listening to you guys. I thought that I didn't know that you guys were live. I thought I was catching up. Now I can't look, I can't see link there. I say, see my people there, make I join them quickly. You guys are doing well. I greet you all. Somebody was talking about Ikenga in Imo State. I wanted to, expatiate on that. Ikenga's election was nullified by the magistrates election tribunal in either it was in Owerri or ahead in Nasarawa State or so. What was the reason? That the primary election that produced Ikenga as the House of Representative for PDP was held and conducted outside the constituents where it was supposed to be conducted, because he is from, I think, the north-south eastern senatorial district towards Opuzodima side. And that place was one of the epicenter of insecurity in Imo State. So they could not conduct the primaries there. They reached out to the court to get permission to conduct that election in a different location, which is Owerri. And the court, the same judiciary that we're talking about, gave an order, a ruling that yes, due to the stringent circumstances of insecurity, that they should go ahead and carry out their election outside the jurisdiction. And they did. Only for after Ikenga to have emerged. Do you know who went to court to challenge Ikenga? That is post-election matters now. Is the APC candidate, who only won 1 polling unit out of 50-something polling units, who came distant third in the election, is the one that went to court, challenging the legitimacy of the primaries that produced Ikenga. And the election tribunal now came and gave a judgment that Ikenga is sacked, and that is why he's going to appeal court. So, you see, it's law in Nigeria is not consistent again. You understand? They dance like Kazaru. We say they do Jangolova up here and there. See, right now,
like Makosa Awilo.
Yes, you understand?
They don't kill Nigeria.
Right now, anybody who won't go study law for Nigeria, if my picking, I go disown you, because Nigeria, they are practicing, what they are practicing is rubbish, it's not law. You can imagine where a Supreme Court has given a ruling on a particular matter. A Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. Then that same issue arises at the appeal court, the justicing the precedent that has been laid by the Supreme Court. Where did they do that kind of thing? Only for Nigeria. So
Agbado don't pass hand now. So.
And let me tell you something. The reason why I will be very, very clear and very blunt. Somebody has said it here. I want to piggyback on that and expatiate it further. The reason why the Supreme Court is unlikely to deliver justice, I will tell you why. Do you know why the appeal court delivered the kind of justice that they delivered? It's because by the time they hold them for blockers, they go find where corruption did for their domots in the past. They go use that one and threaten them. You remember when you collect so bribe for so case, all of them, their hands are soiled. So when they don't bring your skeleton come out, they say, see you, we know how we take handle you if you know do as we talk now. That is why you saw them deliver the kind of judgment that they delivered. Now let us go to the Supreme Court. Una think say people waiting for Supreme Court, their hand they clean. They can still hold them with that their wrongdoings in the past. They will compel them to dance the Ecuadorian music. That is why Nigeria judicial system is dead on arrival. It's dead. And if we Nigerians are believing that we will take back that country by the judicial process, you go die. Your children go buy, throw away. Because, no be so. Time don't reach. We be say, all these old men, we be say, then they quarter to go. We need to speed it up for them. Make them come out. Make them leave. So that we can start building a new nation. Because their medulla oblongata is calcified. It cannot conform. It cannot conform to the current thing that is going on now, the new generation. That is why when we the youth are speaking on how to move the country forward, they are taking us 1 million years backwards.
So we should expedite their exit, Abi?
Immediately. We need to approach them. That is what needs to be done.
May they go to the land beyond.
Bread, man, you don't come.
No, but I'm telling you the truth. I don't look everything.
You're right.
Everything.
You're right. You're right. All those small African countries, they've shown us the example. We're here, we're still speaking English.
No be by English. Yeah. So me, I want my people make them stand up. You know, every time I hear my brother give us a mandate, every time that thing they pain and where go they say the boy 18 years old for Plateau State wake by himself say Mahmoud is my brother Arab Spring not be waiting cause Arab Spring not be person where born himself everything game change. People don't die, people don't buy, people don't go, people don't fall down for Nigeria on account of say they are trying to be patriotic. And yet, people do the chop pepper soup, they drink beer. Business as usual.
They watch Big Brother.
You can imagine. The other day they watch for interview where they ask one man to say, they complain about the system, say Agbado, nothing, every scatter. The cars and to say, but what you go do? Somebody then take them by force. Is that what you go do? Now say never wonder you. I say, can you imagine? As you do like this, are you alive?
A dead corpse walking.
You understand? Are you alive right now? So it's baffling. The other day, recently, very, very recently, my brother, he get one small thing where I just collect for Nigeria. They can't call the money for me, thousands. So as I call make a converter, my brother, you know, reach $200. I said, now so the currency don't they bastardize? When we say something way past 160,000 naira, you go to think a big money, you just press calculator, you change them by base of exchange delivery, no reach $200. I say, what? So the suffer did too much. Black, white, yellow, horrible, thin, lekpa, everybody the sufferer. Police, civilian, army, navy, everybody the sufferer. But yet,
and they're quiet.
They're quiet. You understand? They're quiet. You the quiet say you will be. I know many people will go short service after graduation. Where they rank day? How much did they collect? Meanwhile, the person where they collect billions, you will be graduates. You they carry gun. They go still send you go insurgency. Person when don't get certificate, they pack money. When they carry him back, they follow him, they waka. No be juju be that.
Nigeria na another land.
Fela
Na
don't see this country
land.
finish. He say zombie oh zombie. Na zombie. Now only for Nigeria why I see say your oppressor, you the worshiper. Now you they go cook for them. All those people where they cook for them. None of go put poison for them, finish them one time. I beg, Nigeria, time don't reach.
Then go tell you say you want spoil their Gary.
The judiciary no go do am. I dey tell you. This one I tell you now na pure. Na pure. Supreme Court, all of them were there. They get their case filed. They get their
that's
case filed.
yeah, they have their case filed now.
They go use and hold them. They will still dance their Baduria music. And let me tell you what is playing out here. Let me tell you. That is why you are seeing all these northern oligarchs coming out. People like Akim Baba Ahmed. And when they come, they speak from two sides of their mouth. Let me tell you why. They are not coming out to speak because what they are doing is to bargain with the Agbado so that at all, if he finish, people will come back to them. That is their interests. They are ready to manage him, knowing that it will come back to them. That is why you see them not speaking. Everybody know what Mahmoud said, what INEC said, the promises they made in conformity with the Electoral Act, which is by virtue a section of the law out of the Constitution, because the Electoral Act is a section of the Constitution. It can't be me, bread man, we no go law school. Let me go tell a P court how to interpret law. Come on. If I don't interpret that normally for book, we go interpret them for now ruggedly.
That's why I'm so. That's one of the reasons why I'm so worried, and somehow disappointed with some of our Eastern people that are not fully 100%, supporting this movement of Peter Obi, because this is the time. If this time passed, it will be very, very difficult for us to see someone like Peter Obi again. That Nigerians will rally behind him, such a person, the way we're supporting Peter Obi now. But again, I'm always, kind of tempted to go into that line. Again, because I said there's no even need to talk about any other election in Nigeria for now. But no matter how you slice it, you are tempted, you still want to go there. You want to go there because when we know fully well that this judiciary will not do anything, they will not do anything. We know that they have, as you said, I've highlighted it, you kind of reiterated it. All of them, they have their case file. They have it. There is no way. There's no way. They will bring it out. There's no way. In fact, they will go there and say, this is it. If you do this, we are going to bring. In fact, you will go, first of all, you will go to jail. They have their case file, all of them, up to the CJN himself. They have their case file. Because unless you will come out and say, I have not taken anything, I have not taken any bribe. In Nigeria, how did you even get there in the first place? How did you get there in the first place? It was patronage. You got there in the first place because of patronage. And it is payback time. It is payback time. Even if you are so clean, you are a saint, they will still tell you that, look, you are not qualified to be here. It was just patronage. You just did paddy, because you are my tribe, tribalism, nepotism, all those things. Then you ended up here. We did some work for you to get here. And you yourself, the justice, also that you are not supposed to, you are not qualified to be there. You know that either you did some leg work. We call it essay. He himself, he use essay. He do some leg work to even get there. Once they know that there's an opening, they will start playing the game internally. You go and meet some politicians, some senators, use his contact so that they can give him the appointment. So they know. So they have something in their company, every one of them. So unless the one that will know that, you know what? If I buy, I'm going to do what is right, no matter what. But can we get all the 7 justices to do that, or 4 out of 4 of them? Is an uphill task. That's why. But again, as I said, it is still in their courts, to clean up all this nonsense, all this rubbish, all this rubbish that they have turned Nigeria into. Even their own constituency, if they don't have shame, even if forget about the executive, let them continue to dance naked in the market. Forget about the legislature, let them continue to dance naked. But our own house, the judiciary, will bring it to order. Even if it is only that, they will have to clean up the table. It's so messy, and they are getting it messier and messier by the day. Remember, there are still so many cases to be determined by this so many election tribunal all across the country. They will come up with their judgments, and those judgments will just be counteracting each other, left, right, back, and they will just be counteracting each other. There will be no consistency of any kind. The show has just begun. We will be seeing so many decisions, so many tribunal judgments in the coming days now. We'll be seeing them, especially this September. We'll be hearing them because they are, some of them started 2 weeks. Just count that 2 weeks where after the presidential election, the governorship election was postponed 2 weeks. So they are kind of, the presidential election, was ahead of them in the petition process. So their own will be rounding up too. The deadline is going to be end of this month, first week of October. We'll be seeing those plethora of judgment that will be coming out. We'll see. So it's a tough one. I just can't wait to see how they will bring themselves out, shameless in the market for the whole world to see. Not just Nigerians now, the whole world, to see. So that's the problem. And this government that is going all over the place, looking for legitimacy all over the place. In fact, it's so funny. This judiciary. I believe that they are smart people. These justices, they are smart. They are intelligent people. They are not stupid. It's just because they bully them in this sense. They are bullied, and they know that because their past, is haunting them. They don't have clean hands, and that's what they brought to the table for them. And they have no choice. They just have to dance to their tune. Unfortunately, because they know that if this judgment, it's not going to help, it's going to make things worse. They know that, but they still went ahead and deliver it anyways, just because they want to save their face, their own persona. It's not about Nigeria. It's about their individual personal interests. They are trying to protect.
Now greed. The way person they do all those things, greed, opportunity to grab all the money that is offered to them. That's just it. It's greed. Who knows for how many years they've been in this profession? Maybe they've not made that kind of money they've seen this time around. So it's opportunity for them to grab all the necessary money that that is being brought to before them. So it's greed. I don't know how long I've been in this system. I've not made this kind of money. This opportunity to make money. So probably somebody have not even handled $200,000. Now
Yes,
they are in
that's correct.
millions. So that greed alone will make them to just close their eye on the truth because of the money, so much money that they cannot. Okay, imagine you convert $5 million to 918 or 950 or so. That is over 4 billion. That is over 4 billion. So that person will eat that money till the person die if he manages it well. So that alone is just like opportunity to hit it once and for all. By the time the person put one or two together, because how old am I now? Maybe I'm 65, maybe I'm close to 70. I just opportunity for me to handle billion. Let me just close my eye and get it done. So that greed alone is another factor that made them do what they are doing. that will close their eye to the truth and give wrong judgment.
Unfortunately, that's where we are right now in Nigeria, and we keep our fingers crossed to see what will be unfolding in the coming days and in the coming weeks. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate it.